a spousal lifetime access trust. Okay. A spousal lifetime access trust is an irrevocable trust. Unlike the revocable grantor living trust, this is an irrevocable trust. It happens to also be a grantor trust. That's a tax concept, but it's a SLAT is irrevocable. So you make this trust, it's essentially irrevocable. I say essentially because there's two ways that you can revoke it, but that's outside the scope of this course. We'll call it irrevocable. It's a grantor trust. What that means is, as the grantor, you will pay the income tax. So if you contribute and make a gift of, say, marketable securities to a SLAT, right, for the beneficiary so the beneficiary, earns and receives, has the benefit of those assets, the income that's earned on those stocks, so say the interest and the dividends that's thrown off, can be paid by the grantor. Now you say, why would you want to do that? Well, it's essentially like you're making another gift to the beneficiary without being charged to use your lifetime exclusion, right? Because you're using your assets to pay the tax on the trust's income. And so that trust isn't being depleted because it has to pay its own tax. So if it works out for the grantor that they have the cash to pay it, I say it's the best thing to do. You're essentially making a further gift without having to use your exemption for it. Now, this is a completed gift, and then it's outside of the estate that day when it's out. So, it's not included in the grantor's estate any longer. Okay. So how do you fund it? You're making a gift of the grantor's individual assets. So if it's a jointly held or a tenant by the entirety asset, you need to, if they have a brokerage account, you need to break it up into a tenant in common account before you make the gift. You have to season it and let it stay there for a period of time. It's best to you have to fund these trusts with individually owned assets. So a tenant in common asset is an individually owned asset for these purposes. Okay.